All right, we're trying this again, folks. Don't know what happened.
Those cameos.
Of course, we missed all those cameos in our reactions to them.
I was shocked about Titans.
Well, yeah, it's a streaming service show on HBO.
That was awesome.
Who's that on the bench?
All right, I got it. You guys got it?
Yeah, who's that on the bench?
That was Knox. That was for Batman. They played.
Just wants you to come home. This guy is so spooked, buddy.
That was not an episode of Supergirl.
That right there is from Superman 2.
Every petty national city is having a nervous breakdown. This feels bigger than Leviathan. The USCS didn't register in early morning, so it took everyone completely by surprise.
She does mean everyone, because this earthquake is quite literally worldwide.
But the seismic activity wasn't coming from within the planet, it's coming from without. That's
Astronomical.
Yes, that was Titans.
impossible, but okay.
Yes, a fair descriptor, as would be unfeasible, unthinkable, absurd, outlandish, but however you choose to describe this event, one thing is absolutely certain. We have
A major crisis on our hands.
The Monitor freed Mal? I didn't even know he was of this universe.
Yes, I thought the Monitor was a flashing green arrows problem.
He's of every universe, and he's everyone's problem. Last year he tested Kara and Earth One's heroes with Dr. Deegan in the Book of Destiny. This year he's testing me to make sure I'm ready for this.
What exactly is this? Another reality wave?
Not exactly. Whatever it is hurtling through space at an impossible speed. I calculate it will reach the edge of the universe in exactly 5.3 hours, at which point it will boomerang back. Once it intersects again with our solar
Keep
system,
back off.
the results will be, in a word, cataclysmic.
Exactly when will it reach us?
There are too many variables to calculate precisely, but I will say this: if this wave isn't stopped by tomorrow night, there will be no more us, no more future, no more anything.
Are there any inhabited planets in its trajectory?
Just one.
Argo.
City.
It's Argo that gets destroyed.
Can we warn them?
Argo's now should make communication difficult, but I will try.
How much time do we have, Brady?
Not enough.
Superman, champion of Earth, who faced off with Doomsday, apprehended General Zod, and went toe-to-toe with dozens of Lex
Remember
Luthor's
they're there
death
because
traps,
she's pregnant?
has finally met his match.
You said they faced Doomsday.
What do you think?
That too.
Front page news?
I mean, I think it's a little lowbrow for Lois Lane.
Lowbrow? If only the citizens of Earth could see Kal-El struggling with spit up.
Need I remind you, Miss Lane, I have no powers here.
Oh, don't you be blaming this on the Red Sun, honey.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, Daddy did it.
Jonathan really has your eyes, huh?
I'll take it. As long as he has your everything else. You know, when I used to picture us together, we were always living on Earth, and we had 2 kids.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Kansas, but prognostication is not one of your superpowers.
Oh.
Lois. Aura?
And pants?
You need now.
How did she manage to break through Ariel's shoe interference?
Not well, apparently.
Cal, Lois. Argo is in danger. You need to get out now. Cal, Lois. Thank God.
What's happening?
A massive energy is moving through space. It's killing everything in its path.
How long do we have?
Minutes.
Keep playing around.
Course for Earth. Enough time to stop this wave before it hits.
Superman's like, hey, I've been here before.
There are no others. Only this one.
Who's the only investments here?
Always be with you.
We will never leave you, even in the face of our deaths.
Wait, what?
Very
to talk. Because first of all, we started a live stream and then all of a sudden it stopped. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But we seem to be good now. You guys all seem to found us, I hope.
My word.
So we missed that first couple minutes, all those reveals of all those things. So obviously that's all we're gonna see of those things. But we actually, the rumor was true. Titans was represented,
And now we
With
know
Hawk
that. Now we know that they're on Earth 9.
and not only that, but also that was Knox from Batman the movie with Michael Keaton.
Oh.
He's the reporter. Oh, whoa! We got a Star Wars thing going on here.
This till the end.
We got friends out there. People will fight if we leave them.
Play with me,
Now we take the war to them.
Okay.
Yes.
pause there. Yeah. Okay. So.
One more week for that.
Oh my gosh. So. Yeah, we got the Burt Ward cameo already. Unfortunately, we missed all of that crap because we had the live stream going, had it going for like 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden, like right as it comes on, live stream goes down.
And then Burt
What?
Ward is on Earth 68.
For the year.
Yeah.
And he said, "Holy red skies!"
I know, that was awesome.
I said,
I've got
Red
some-
Crimson Red
Yeah.
Skies, something.
I don't like what's been happening on YouTube lately.
Yeah.
Because we got the one thing demonetized for nothing, saying that there was something on our channel, like in that video that was bad for the hashtag I Love Star Wars video.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the our Wonder Woman, or not our Wonder Woman, Black Widow review video, reaction video, after it's been up for almost a week, got demonetized because somebody who wasn't even Disney or Marvel made a copyright claim on it. Like, and that's the abuse that can happen with this stupid copyright thing with YouTube, because you don't even have to own it. All you have to say is, oh, well, yeah, I own it. And so it wasn't even Marvel or that. And then now we start our live stream on one of the biggest things that we're doing, and that comes down.
Urban says, "What do you think tonight's cliffhanger will be?"
Oh no. Oh. William says I don't like this brainiac guy.
Monday at 9, 8 Central, only on the CW.
I've hated this place. I think about all the people that it took from me.
Yes.
It just makes me so angry.
Jordan, we can't turn it up anymore, man. It's really loud in here.
This island taught me to survive. It turned me into someone else. Somebody better than the person I was before. So despite my feelings, there are no stories about the Green Arrow to tell. If I don't make my way to land you, and I'm also not standing this moment, it's looking at my daughter.
Thank you for letting me be a part of your story. It was only for a little while.
Yeah, something tells me you're gonna create your own stories.
Well, I don't think she's gonna be creating any stories at this rate. This guy's just gonna go.
William, no, he's just showing up.
The crisis has begun.
Cisco. Iris.
I'm Harbinger now. I'm working with the Monitor. Challenger, you are needed. I'll deal with whatever your crazy is in a minute. There is no more time.
Okay, folks, time for our tiebreaker question of the night. Here we go. What is the name of the last song Janis Joplin ever recorded?
Ready for some free drink?
And the answer to our final bonus question is Little Robot Man. Strange Visitors are our winners tonight. Better luck next time, legends.
No, that's wrong. But Mercedes-Benz was Janis Joplin's last song. I'm gonna tell that trivia host.
Sarah? So, you remember last year at Woodstock when I was supposed to steal a lock of Janis Joplin's hair without her noticing?
Yeah?
She noticed. And she called me.
Little Robot Man. Well, congratulations. You changed history and lost us trivia night.
And we're done here.
Lila? What's with the suit?
Panic is rising out there. I want every available agent in the field until we get a handle on whatever this thing is. Hey, face down on the floor now! Did you do this? Did you destroy our... Are you okay?
Thanks to her, she appeared at the last second and brought us here.
We sent Jonathan off in an escape pod.
And my mother?
I'm so sorry, darling.
Car? What just happened? You're on Earth 38. There.
That robot was about to talk.
This one speaks to rabbits.
It's okay, because we're all on the same side. Are we?
She's out of it.
But you know me. And if you were out here with all these other heroes, it's probably because we need you. I trust everyone in this room with my life, including you.
They showed us the briefing.
I guess you should all just call me Kate.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm Mia. I'm Oliver's daughter.
I never knew he had a daughter.
He gets that a lot. Look at you. Start talking.
There's a wave of antimatter sweeping across this
That
universe,
Batwoman thing was awkward.
destroying everything in its path.
I've seen the antimatter wave in action. It wiped all of Earth 2 right out of existence.
Right,
Everyone
William?
took
Al
38
needs to
because
chill.
this is where the monitor wants you to make your stand. This universe is a tipping point. If we don't stop the antimatter wave here, it will continue to the next universe, and the next, and the next, until it has obliterated not only every Earth, but everything across all reality.
Right, so we are going to need a bigger team.
Where's Barry? Where are the legends?
Doing reconnaissance. I'm headed to check on them now. I just don't like her.
Well, Brady's algorithm will help forecast exactly how much time we have until the antimatter wave hits. Thank you all for being here. I know we can beat this together.
About Jonathan. We set a course for Earth in his pod, but we don't know where it landed.
Or even if it landed.
Brainy, can you track his trajectory?
Absolutely. We'll find that bouncing bundle of Kryptonian joy faster than a flying Flaccarian.
Is this any problem?
I can handle it.
That's right here.
Towers in the track. How do you know? It's a closing tower, apparently.
And it's the only thing that can save the people of this world.
That's where the preview ended yesterday.
Only 18 minutes in. This is already really good.
What's up, Jose? I agree with you, William. Alex needs to chill out.
Yeah.
I don't think pulling her non-lethal gun on anybody's gonna help.
Yeah. And then that's not going to do anything to Harbinger.
No. Yeah, Batwoman.
Trying too hard.
Yeah, that's it exactly. trying way too hard with that
Make her
character.
look intimidating.
To make her look intimidating, because like nothing about that felt natural at all. She's just gonna start punching people and acting like an idiot. This is why I have a problem with the character. This is why I have a problem even watching that, because it just feels so forced. Like it's not the politics of it.
Well, she
It's
also
that.
was in the middle of something and someone just yanked her out of her universe.
Yeah, but come on.
I'd be mad too.
Yeah, but to just have an attitude, that's the problem, is she's mad at the world all the time. Like, it's like she got a giant stick stuck up her butt and she couldn't get it removed, and so she's just angry. But, oh well.
Wait, switching this. How ended is monitor went to John. And said pretty much
What's up, Dark Tasty?
complete,
Irving?
trial. Or like,
That's right, the 5-year wait is done. Here we are.
like he was testing John. And then it cuts to where the monitor has been.
What's up, Elite Bat?
This whole
I love how Iris and the Flash gang don't even know where Barry is.
Yeah. But no,
What's up, Rise TV?
is it goes to the monitor where he is. And then it shows.
Antoine, we did see the new trailer. We actually have a trailer reaction video that'll be coming out tonight after Crisis is done.
Yes.
I just can't upload it until then.
Yeah.
I agree, William. Why is she punching people in the face? I don't know.
Yeah. But after that Black Lightning trailer, it showed like last commercial break. Looks like we don't get Black Lightning until tomorrow night. On Crisis. Unless they pretty much just
We
introduce
don't
him
get
now.
who?
Black
Black
Lightning
Lightning.
until tomorrow night. Because he's having an episode tomorrow. But they also showed the red skies in that episode, so it looks like it's gonna end with his Earth disappearing and Harbinger pulling him off last second.
Gotcha. Irving Cruz says my beats per minute is 100 because of the hype.
Me too.
Lots of stuff happened.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that whole opening part again.
Yeah, that caught me way off guard. Like, first it
That
started
opening
with-
part was awesome.
First it started with the Batman music, and then it showed the Titans, and then it showed Burt Ward, and then it goes to Supergirl's Earth.
And it just sucked because I was fiddling with the camera while we were trying to get the live stream going.
Yeah.
But oh well.
They showed Hank and Jason Todd.
I know. That was awesome. They also showed somebody else too. They showed Jason Todd, showed Hank,
I thought that was it.
and I thought there was one more.
Just,
You sure?
No, just
Yeah.
Hawk and Jason.
Because it was going in, it said Earth 9, and then it showed Hawk and Jason, and then just showed that disappear, and then it went to Earth X, and saw that disappeared. But I like how they're following the comics, how it's before Earth gets hit by the antimatter. And
Yeah.
it has like earthquakes and volcanoes out of nowhere and all of that.
Sure.
Like what happened in the comics.
So I mean, but that's the thing is like, so if we know the Titans universe isn't going away, so if it just went away,
That means it's coming back.
it's coming back. So they're obviously going to do something. We don't know yet what, but
You know, one thing that they could have done like this to surprise everybody is
If the seven thing.
no, instead of Jason Todd, what if it showed him as Red Hood? So it's like, what happens after that?
heck yeah.
Because did you see what happened yesterday between DC, Marvel Unite, and the actor of Jason Todd?
No.
So the actor Jason Todd posted something.
Oh.
He's a bit.
Hey there, Super.
Oh, he's just.
Wait,
Because we're going to be talking crossover with special guest Kat McNamara, Monica Garrett, and many more. Plus, we're dishing out some behind-the-scenes intel that you won't want to miss. It's Crisis Aftermath right here after the show.
At the dawn of time, the Monitor placed quantum towers on key Earths as a last line of defense. The red skies are dissipating, which means it's working.
From this design, it looks like the tower is capable of generating a quantum flux field, which is theoretically
Reverse the exogenic state of the antimatter wave, thereby dissipating the antimatter energy.
Yes. Finally, someone who speaks my language.
Look at shit. If you wanted to give it upgrade,
Depends on how attached you are to your hand.
pretty attached.
So the tower can stop this Earth from being destroyed.
If you can protect it. Protect it from what? The Anti-Monitor. He commands forces greater than any army. When the tower stops the wave, they will come to thwart any effort to save this planet and its people.
Jonathan's pod has disappeared from our radar.
Earth 16. Interesting. You must have met temporal wormhole because, well, the pod is in the year 2046.
We've been there before.
That's the
Apparently we didn't just travel to the future.
Yeah.
We travel to a parallel Earth in the future. Spring.
I'm going after Clark. You can't. Those are two words I'm not used to hearing, and my son needs me. I'm a parent, and I get it. The entire universe needs you. When that tower gets attacked, you have to be here to protect it.
I'll go.
William
Lois.
says, are we gonna watch the
I'll back
Crisis
you up.
Aftermath show?
That is a train.
As will I. I happen to be excellent with children.
Don't worry. I'll get him. Come on.
You know Oliver. I've seen Playboy Oliver, Vigilante Oliver, but I never thought I would see Parent Oliver.
It's weird, right?
So weird. But it looks good on you.
Jean, well, I thought Director Danvers was with you.
She was, but she went to call the president to coordinate the evacuation in case the quantum tower fails.
She is smart. That is exactly what I was about to suggest. But has she contemplated the number of ships one would require for such an exodus?
Brittany, every alien refugee on this planet came here in a ship. I intend to ask them for their help.
Do you really think they will? After how the government treated them last year?
I have faith that everybody will do the right thing. Humans and aliens alike.
Well, in any event, this should help. Brock, yeah, I've just managed to zero in on Jonathan's location in Star City.
The president is in. He's speaking with other world leaders. We'll coordinate the effort from National City. But Jean, even if we did manage to get enough ships for everyone, we can't just fly off Earth. I mean, space itself is being erased.
Earth 1 is the last stop on the anti-meta trajectory. We can try and get everybody there.
Well, one little extrapolator is not going to do the job.
Transmatter portal?
Who could build one big enough? I mean, not even Brainy has.
Dina. She built an enormous one for the Daxamites. I'm sure she could build one twice as big.
No, that's too big of a risk. I mean, after Myriad, after everything, she can't be trusted.
What other choice do we have?
Sorry about your mom. I couldn't save her.
You had no powers on Argo. There was nothing you could do.
I feel like a fool. I thought I could give up the cape and just have everything I ever wanted. But now, Argo's gone. This Earth is in danger. Lois and Jonathan are out in the universe where I can't protect them. And part of me can't help thinking that I deserve this. For thinking that I could have so much. That anyone could.
I get it. I've been thinking that a lot too lately. How I can never do enough. How my mistakes outweigh all the good I've ever done. But it's not true. It can't be. We're going to save them. Lois, Jonathan, this whole planet. We've done it 12 times and we're going to do it again.
How are you so hopeful right now?
Oh my
When
God.
you've lost as much as I have today. Argo, your mom.
Because I just started doing this, Supergirl.
Sent us to Earth. Nobody here knew about Krypton. Now there are stories, celebrations, museum exhibits. Just like you shared our home with your family, we shared our home with this whole world. Krypton's not just a place, it's a spirit. It's hope. It's sacrifice. It's what our parents did for us.
This means hope on my planet, but I forgot
What
that
you did
for
for
Supergirl.
Jonathan.
fighting for what's right. So we have to keep fighting. And as long as that spirit is alive, Krypton will never die.
I just wish you would look at her and go, I'm glad you learned something.
I did. I have something for you.
What is it?
Oh, when we find out.
Please tell me you're planning on wearing this.
I don't think that one would fit me. There should always be at least one Green Arrow.
Dad, I can't.
I mean, the Monitor has taken a lot from me. I'll always be grateful for the time he's given me with you.
If you're not here to wear this, no one should.
You weren't. Just try it on, okay? I gotta find Barry.
Man, Wire shows up late to the crisis we've been expecting for years. Is that the best look, Barry?
Lila had us doing some recon of the quantum towers. But listen, do you remember the newspaper article I showed you in the Time Vault? Red skies and a crisis? Okay, well, the Monitor confirmed the paper's headline, and in this crisis, I'm supposed to die. No.
We need to talk now.
Who are you talking to?
Hey, right now!
We are past the time for discussion, Oliver. You and I had an agreement.
I die. Barry and Kara live.
Yes, to keep the cosmic balance.
So why are you telling Barry that he's gonna die?
I spared your friends' lives so they could save their world last year. This is a very different threat.
You need to stop playing games with me. You tell me why the Anti-Monitor is doing this. And then tell me how I'm gonna prevent it.
Not knowing what you are fighting means you will prepare for every possibility. Because this threat brings with it the annihilation of all life in all realities. Do you now comprehend the scope of the danger we all now face?
Yeah, man, we respond to the chat.
We just usually when we're watching it, we try to
We're just-
respond in between.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we try to respond
During
during the commercials and stuff, man. But yeah, hey, we're glad to have you here, man. We're so glad to have you here. I don't know.
And thank you for subscribing.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for subscribing. I don't know how to pronounce your name because of your screen name there, but yeah, absolutely.
That trailer.
It's just like a sleepover. We should order pizza. Hey, Cosmos, really.
Birds of prey, folks.
I'm the one they should be scared of. Because I'm Harley freaking Quinn.
The week of my birthday. What a great
Yeah.
birthday gift.
Right?
We only gotta wait 2 months for that.
That comes out the week after my birthday.
Yeah. So,
And that,
right, William?
that kind of got me when he gave Mia the suit. It's like his way of passing on.
So glad
when she
Supergirl was
back.
there to give Superman a pep talk, you know? Give him some hope because he probably didn't realize that the S on his chest isn't an S. That it means hope and all. I mean,
Okay, well, no, I'm never mind. Say you're in that situation where, like, say you had to send Landon on a pod, and
no, I
you
get it.
get stolen away at the last second. You're not gonna know how to function.
Look, I get it. But she lost her mom too. But they show Supergirl totally like, oh, but Clark, you know, you just gotta have hope. You gotta have faith and blah 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 blah. And Superman's just like, how can you have hope at a time like this? Whatever. It just goes to show you they don't know what to do with Superman. Nobody freaking knows how to write Superman. You write Superman too strong, everybody gripes and complains. You make Superman a complete, like, and you know what, Isaac? I wouldn't have such a problem with it if it wasn't every freaking time he's on Supergirl. Like, if it was a situation where, like, usually he's Superman and he's fine, and then he has an instance where that happens, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him being human and dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
But what happened to TV?
I don't know, so I'm trying to figure it out.
But it's every time.
Are you here to arrest me during the apocalypse or to try and kill me because you weren't successful the other day?
I wasn't trying to hurt you, Lena. I was trying to stop you from using Myriad.
Right, is that why you had a Claymore satellite aimed at me? No, I didn't use Myriad, that was Eve Tessmacher.
You and I both know that that isn't true. The reason the sky is red and the planet feels like it's falling apart is because it is. There's an antimatter wave that is tearing through the universe right now, and it will destroy Earth if Kara and the other heroes don't stop it. I am working with Jean to hedge our bets and mount an evacuation, but in order to do that, we need your help. I am sorry that I lied to you, and not just me, and not just Kara. It was all of us. John, and Brainy, and Mia.
You know, you actually had me believe that you hated Supergirl.
I wasn't pretending. But that is a long story. Listen, I know that you feel burned by us, and that there is nothing that I can say in this moment that is going to change that. But if you could please just put your feelings aside, Jean and I really, really need your help.
Sky, if you're still here, I just saw your post. You are so sweet. Thank you so
Never
much.
again have my friendship or my trust. I've learned my lesson from all of you. But if the world is at stake, then of course I'll help. It is hubris of you to think that I wouldn't, but then you've made it perfectly clear how little you've thought of me these last 2 years, so what do you need me to do?
Whatever's inside there, it's working. The antimatter wave stopped. It's slowly dissipating.
How do we protect that thing from an enemy we know nothing about, but we know is coming?
We head inside. Stake out strategic positions. We're fortified. We control the battle.
Earthquake that magnitude can overwhelm the entire coast.
Go. How can we do the damage?
Go, we got this.
Let's go inside, dig in.
Earth 16, Star City 2046.
You've got to be kidding me. What are the odds that my son's pod landed here?
3,827,000,000 to 1. But the pod didn't land here.
But you said this is where Jonathan is.
Yes, this is where I tracked him. I can't speculate as to why Oliver Queen would kidnap a baby.
Well, he probably thought he was rescuing him. In Star City, it's no place for a child.
Well, I'll thank him when I have Jonathan back. In the meantime...
Unnecessary.
No, it's not possible. You're dead. You went down with the gamut.
But I came back, remember? I found you and Lee and you. Ollie, you're not. It's just a long story. The longest.
Thank you, Oliver. Thank you for helping my baby.
She did. It's just that we've never faced one like this before.
Yeah, so I was just posting here to Jeff my Superman thoughts. I understand that apparently it's not my Superman, but like I said, I wouldn't have a problem. I love seeing Clark's human side. That's the most important thing is Clark's human side, and I love that part of it. But why is it every time they show him on this show, it's always cutting his legs out from underneath of him. It's always making him look weak and making Supergirl look smarter, stronger, wiser, everything. Like, that's the problem that I have with it. What Supergirl said was awesome, was great, was inspirational. But why does everything have to be at Superman's expense? I just don't understand that about the show. Everything shouldn't have to be at Superman's expense. They don't have to make Superman look so weak to make her look so special. I don't know.
Oh yes, so I think I was talking about that one break with Jason Todd.
Thank you, Sky. You were so sweet for saying that. I don't know. I'm sorry. Sky said, honestly, you helped me through so much. Hey, I'm glad that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. We're here to have fun and to just be here, right? And be together. And so we're thankful to have you here. And yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. So the actor that plays Jason Todd, he posted a picture in his caption for it. It says, "Hit you back in a minute." In DC Marvel Unite, that page where I find all the news and the memes from.
Yeah.
He responded to that and said, "Joker's gonna hit you back in a minute too." Like saying that, like talking about Jason Todd. And he responded, he said, "You're right."
Oh.
Like talking about like how Joker's gonna.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe we're getting that in season 3 with Joker and Jason Todd.
Ooh. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's the
now,
thing.
who did he say that to?
The guy that plays Jason Todd on Titans.
Yeah. Who did he say that to though?
Oh, that.
Who was he talking to?
That news page that I get all the DC stuff from.
Said, I hit you back up. So what did they say originally to him?
The caption was, "Hit you back in a minute."
From the guy who plays Jason.
Yeah. But that was the caption of the picture.
Okay.
And then he responded with, "The Joker's gonna hit you back in a minute too." He said, "You're right."
Interesting. Thanks, Jose. Yes, Sky. Jason Todd had a little cameo at the beginning. They showed basically the Titans.
Him and Hawk.
Him and Hawk at the beginning.
Also, no Tom Welling and Kevin Conroy this episode.
Thanks, Shadow.
But there's
Shadow
20
Wolf
minutes.
says you guys are a cool family. Jose says you're giving a good advice about it. Jose says you guys rock. Irving Cruz says Reverse Flash going to pull up at the end like, "Hello, Barry," and dip out.
I think Reverse Flash will show up. I think everybody's gonna show up once they go back to Earth 1.
I would think so.
Yeah. Or if not, somehow he's gonna find out a way to track what Earth they're at and go to that one.
Wednesday, on an all-new Riverdale. Guys kissing a girl's neck. On Riverdale. The town with mystery, mayhem, and murder. And a guy who looks like Jughead and a rabbit. And ooh, a montage of guys who are shirtless. On an all-new Nancy Drew Mysteries. What is this, like 1980? Remember the Nancy Drew Mysteries? The Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. No, I'm just listening. Remember the Hardy Boys?
She said, "One Hardy, 2 like that."
Those time frames? Those are,
But they're not time rates either. He said that once the anti-monitor knew that.
I can have one of those not within a minute.
Awesome, Albert. Glad to have you here, bro. Awesome to hear this. Blessed to have you. Holy cow. That's cool. Now we're getting a little.
Did you see the photo? Oh, you haven't seen that season yet. Dang it.
We are working on the portal now. I just hope Sean can get enough ships. There are literally billions of people to get off the planet. That's why Brain left John's keys. Keys to what? The leader left it here.
Right on time, John. Are you ready to get this evacuation underway?
Start getting people into groups and I'll start beaming them up. Let's just hope Alex and Lena get that portal on in time so we have somewhere to go.
The quantum tower is keeping the wave at bay. We're fighting really hard to protect it, but we've got to get this portal up and running.
I'm trying, but the transmap portal works by synthesizing polyatomic anions, and if I don't get the energy levels right when they interface with the breach device, then the ships will disintegrate when they fly right through it.
Right. That is not a good option. Have you thought about using an inverse variable to help calculate the differential? Galleon's theory?
It's not an inverse beta decay to figure a constituent quark that can work.
Well, Eno, or Eno, I'm glad that you finally spoke up.
Keep working. Got your back.
I never thought I'd see you again.
One of the benefits of parallel Earths.
But you finally said so.
Parallel Earth. It would appear that your reality is a little stranger than mine.
You really have no idea.
All my life, I just wanted to apologize for bringing you on that boat. But you weren't even you.
Lily, if your me was anything like I was, then getting on the Gambit with you was her choice. And in my world, that trip, it set off a whole series of events that neither you or I could have ever dreamed of. You became a hero, a husband, a father. And I'm flying through time happier than I've ever been. And none of that would have ever happened if I didn't get on that boat with you. It was destiny.
I'm sorry to break up what I'm sure must be the strangest reunion in the history of the world, but if we don't leave now, I'm afraid our extrapolator might not have enough power for us to return home.
What was an extrapolator?
It's another long story. You're a good man. On every earth.
Is that it?
That was easy.
They're on the roof.
What's happening out there? The skies are red again, the antimatter wave's moving, and the portal isn't open yet. There's more shadow demons incoming.
Clark, get to the roof. Get the tower operational again. We'll stay behind and hold them off.
Those solar panels?
Looks close enough. We won't be able to power it indefinitely.
We just need to buy more time. We might lose the planet, but we can still save the people. You almost got it.
Almost, I think. Yes, systems are a go. Calculating destination. Destination set. Smart call with Galleon's theory.
Lucky guess. But you're the real genius here, so.
Don't mistake us working together for friendship. I told you before, Karen, you showed me who you were, and I accept that. Now let's go help people get on these ships.
Alfred? Oh, you got one up, yeah?
Did it work?
You did it. The tower's working again in the portal. The ship's better be fast.
First one to go.
Supercharged didn't actually stop the wave, it just slowed it down. According to your brain's algorithm, we have 14 minutes before it makes contact with Earth.
Superman wore out first.
1 minute count.
This is always got a one up.
We need to keep those shadow demons at bay until every last ship gets through.
James left it for me.
That's cool shot. The camera like that.
That's cool.
Nice.
That's an awesome shot.
We must retreat and save our resources for battle yet to come. Not entirely.
That's when he drops the ball. Great Hartnett. No. That did not need to be made.
Oh, what do you use that stun the monitor?
He just shot an arrow at him.
Oh,
Doesn't he
I
have
know what
those
he
shock?
used.
Doesn't he have those
No,
shocking?
he was trying to build something and take out the monitor.
Oh, in the last episode, that thing that.
No, not that. He's been working on something, and I think that, what's his name? Finally made, Curtis, finally made an arrow that he could use.
Thanks. Yeah, we actually all have one of these hoodies. The whole family does. Everybody's got one.
Still got 5 more minutes.
We got 5 more minutes, folks.
I think what's gonna end is the monitor's gonna tell them you have 7 heroes to find. And then that's how it's gonna lead into tomorrow's, is they have to go find those 7.
Interesting so far.
Wait, so is Black Lightning gonna be first tomorrow?
Maybe.
So does that mean that Batwoman's gonna be later in the night, or is it's gonna push it earlier? If
We're probably gonna get Clark Kent.
because there's Batwoman and Black Lightning tomorrow, but Black Lightning's episode is explaining how he shows up in Crisis.
Tomorrow we're probably gonna get Brandon Ralph Kingdom from Superman.
Yeah, but it's like is it gonna show Black Lightning first and then Batwoman right after? Meaning Crisis would be later, or are they
Probably
gonna?
whatever the normal.
Well, Black Lightning's normally on after Flash, or no, not Flash. No, Black Lightning's normally on Monday nights. So it's normally just Black Lightning on Mondays. So I don't know if they're gonna make an hour ahead, so Crisis is still at 8.
My guess is Crisis will still be on at 8.
Yeah, so maybe they'll do Black Lightning at 7, which means we have to watch that.
Well, my guess is Black Lightning's not going to play too much into it. It's just going to be like an ending thing, just like everything else.
Yeah.
And they're just going to show him up and.
Explain, oh, this is how
Yeah.
it shows up in Crisis. show it because it looks like they're wrapping up. Lucky.
Somebody said,
talking crossover special guest.
Jose says, well, we got two different ideas. Irving says it's Batwoman, then Black Lightning. And Jose says Black Lightning is first at 8, Batwoman is at 9 tomorrow.
He fought to his last breath, knowing every moment was another life saved.
Jeff says Black
Your
Lightning is after
universe is
that.
no more. Of 7.53 billion, 3 billion souls made it to Earth 1 on the armada of ships. I calculate 1 billion souls survived due to his noble sacrifice.
Once upon a time, not anymore now. Simply a man serving his penance. Penance for what? I freed the Anti-Monitor from his confinement only to become a pariah, sentenced to bear witness to his actions. That's okay, Sam. This is my destiny. Mary. You, my friend, are the very best of us. I gave it all up for you and Carl. What do you mean? I mean the two of you. You're the ones to save us. Don't forget to find your mother. My home. Tell her how much I love her. I love you. You keep me in your heart, okay?
Somebody give me some medical help. Dang it.
It was not supposed to be like this. This is not his ending I foresaw.
Things are turning out differently than expected. But one thing is certain. Everything we know, everything there is, and everything there ever was, is doomed.
Join host Kevin Smith as he takes us through the crossover Crisis Aftermath, coming up next.
Oliver died the way he lived. A hero.
Everyone has a part to play.
Who wants to meet Batman?
Kate.
Bruce?
Oh, yes.
Glasses.
Event continues tomorrow at 8/7 Central.
The first hour of Crisis on Infinite Earths is in the books, and there is a lot to talk about, from killer crossovers to unexpected partnerships to the death of Green Arrow to the birth of a new Green Arrow, man. The highs, the lows, and everything in between. All that and more right now on Crisis Aftermath. Welcome to Crisis Aftermath. I'm your host, Kevin Smith. Boy, oh boy, man, we knew that this year's crossover event was going to be something special, but this is beyond bonkers, man. Here to help me figure it all out, our executive producer, Mark Guggenheim, writer, comedian, and DC nerd, Danny Fernandez, and Arrow star, Kat McNamara. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. I just want to ask right off the bat, and you don't count because you wrote this. What were your favorite moments so far?
Oh goodness, there's so many.
I mean, mine was when Mia got her suit. I mean, it was so precious. It was such a precious moment.
You're not just saying it because she's sitting there.
No,
It was a
no.
legit good
I'm
moment.
saying it because I talk a lot about father-daughter moments in therapy. And so
Yeah.
I said it like, you know, this is a safe place in front of millions of people, so I don't mind openly weeping.
For sure. I mean, that was one of my favorite moments to shoot, definitely. Just because Steven and I have spent most of the season together, and getting to watch him work and being a part of the story, this being my first crossover, that was such a big moment, I think, for both characters, and we really felt that.
Do you watch him? How does one play the daughter of somebody who's been playing a guy for like many seasons? Do you actually go back, watch episodes, and be like, I could steal that, I could steal that?
That's exactly what I did. When I first auditioned, I didn't know that I was auditioning for his daughter. And once I found that out, I went back and watched the entire series, because not only is he such an iconic character, but Felicity Smoke is another iconic character. And Mia is sort of the perfect amalgamation of them both. And I tried to steal as many little nuances and character quirks as I could to really make her her own person.
You nailed it. Let me ask you this, Mark. You are the architect of all this madness, so you definitely have a favorite moment.
I would say in hour one, when Lois and Kal-El placed Baby Jonathan in the rocket ship. And I remember we were in the writer's room, because we assembled a writer's room for the crossover, and we were in the writer's room, and I forget who pitched it. It wasn't me. I wish I could take credit for it. But I love it, and I love it for two reasons. Number one, it's homaging, obviously, Alexander Luthor being launched, in a rocket ship. Baby Alexander Luthor being launched in a rocket ship in the first Crisis.
From Crisis, from the book.
But also, Kal-El and Lois are speaking Marlon Brando's dialogue from Superman the movie.
How fun was that to be able to, and was that the marching orders in the writer's room? Like, homage, or as other people say, steal as much from other sources as possible?
You know, it's funny. What was so great was no one ever had to be told it. We all just instinctively were like, okay, we're going to steal this, and we're going to steal this, and we're going to homage that, and we're going to tip our hats to this. And it was just something we've been doing it, honestly, ever since year one of Arrow.
Yeah.
Like, it's always been part of the DNA of all these shows. But yeah, I mean, because this is Crisis, and because it's one of the biggest DC events ever, we felt an obligation to really, go for it.
The show, all the Arrowverse shows have always been about incredible fan service, but this especially feels like they're gonna love this. They're gonna love this. So we're all still reeling from an incredible hour of television, but that hour was months and years and actually decades in the making, man. Check it out.
So a day in the life of shooting this crossover is absolutely staggering in terms of the amount of cast that's coming in and people from other shows. There's so much logistically that goes into it, and everybody just has to be on it.
This Crisis is such a big deal. It's so many actors, so many lines, so many characters, so many moving pieces.
You get picked up so early in the morning, you have to go through hair and makeup, and then we start acting, and then, halfway through a day, you get driven to a different show.
Everyone works very differently. Every production has its own kind of culture and way of working. And when you work with actors from a different production, you get to see ways, that they may do things better or that we may do things better. And so it's a great learning experience.
Awesome.
Come on, man. Just seeing that many people walking around in costume. When I was a kid, you dreamed about that. We had Batman and Robin growing up with great Burt Ward and Adam West. And when you saw those two in their outfits, it made you excited. You dreamed about it. I remember there was a TV guide cover from 1989 when John Wesley's ship Flash was on that showed a picture of him in the outfit next to a picture of Michael Keaton in the Batman outfit from the movies next to Christopher Reeve wearing the Superman suit. And you dreamed, will there ever be a day where you can see something like this? And we're literally seeing it here unfold in front of us.
It's insanity. I mean, the 10-year-old me still can't believe it. I mean, I am... The fact that anyone has done this, much less us, the fact that anyone has done this is so exciting to me. It scratches every itch, just fanboy I have. And that's the thing, you were talking about, in the fan service, the reason these shows are so fan service oriented is we're fans. We approach it as fans. And so even, yes, of course, in the writer's room, we're talking about this is going to make them stand up and applaud. But before we get there, we're standing up and applauding ourselves. And we're like, oh my God, this is going to be so awesome.
You must be sitting there, guys, going we're so clever.
I did have a question, though, because Burt Ward and Robert Wool are in this. Does that mean that they're movies and shows are canonically a part of this
that's
universe.
the whole point. Like that is, and they're now canonically destroyed. But
We had them for a second and then gone.
So the bat nipples existed in this universe.
yes, the bat nipples are Arrowverse canon.
And it was CW. We always knew nipples were involved somewhere. Oh, absolutely. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. The death of Arrow.
Yes.
Let's take a look.
That's okay.
Sure, Jeff.
This is my destiny. Barry. You, my friend, are the very best of us. I gave it all up for you and Carl.
What was going through your head, man, when you're sitting there watching that scene, when you're watching history happen?
Indeed, it was a historic moment in many ways for me personally. It was my first day on set with everyone in the suits. It was my first day wearing my suit on set, so I was so excited. We were just talking about how, much we all are fans of this and how exciting that is. So I was over the moon excited. Then I get to set and I realize, oh, now I have to cry over my dying father. Okay, let me reframe my entire headspace. But it was
It's
just...
weird because it's not an outfit that's conducive to crying over a dead father.
No.
Because it makes you feel action-oriented and want to play.
Right, you're ready to go.
I hear you, Reverse Scully.
Exactly. Also, I have the Stephen Amell special boots that are actually Nike sneakers or
Inside
sneakers
the boot.
inside the
Is it just
the
me?
superhero boots. So
That's the
you feel
trick.
like bouncing around
Or-
anyway.
Right.
But it was
Did
so
that
wonderful,
death
and
scene
Stephen
just
killed it, and everybody
not
really came
seem-
together because
it's
you know,
not the death
Stephen
scene,
in
it's
a
not how
sense
he
I know,
was
it just-
the
it just seemed
beginning
really
of this
empty.
entire universe.
He's the spawn. If you were going to make an
No,
analogy
it's
to
not.
another
It
cinematic
just seemed
universe
really
or something
empty. It
like
just
that,
didn't seem
he's the
like
Robert
it didn't
Downey
even seem
Jr. of this
acted
universe.
well. Like that's probably the
Very
worst
strong
I've seen
on which
Steve
all
Amell
those other
act.
shows sprang.
Right,
I
and
think
what's
it's gonna
so
be
great
one of
about
those
that is
things where it's
everybody really came
He
together to
thought
honor
that
him and the work he's done to build everything else in that moment.
Turns
And
out a
Stephen
little bit.
absolutely killed it. So we were all
It just
all
it
of
felt
us.
like it,
Mark, you've
like I
been
kept
there
expecting
with,
him
Arrow
to
since
like
day
pop
one.
back up.
It's
Like, be
unfair
like,
to say.
not
You
dead.
always know
Undertaker.
you were gonna
Yeah,
kill
right,
him,
like
but
pull an
wasn't
Undertaker.
always
Like
an idea
yeah,
that
not dead.
When he
I
goes, he
think-
goes.
Thought I was dying.
I think,
think they're out looking
in
for
fact,
the
Stephen
seventh.
Amell and I have
think
talked about this
that,
numerous times over the years, and we
Monitor
were
and
always
Pryor are
of
trying to
the
save
same
Oliver.
opinion, which is
Might bring him back.
Oliver's journey has to end with his death.
Mm.
So it was always where we were headed. I think, the type of guy Oliver was before he got marooned on Lian Yu, like, he was a jerk. And I've always sort of seen Arrow as a redemption story.
Yeah.
And, he makes the ultimate sacrifice for the ultimate redemption. The challenge that we sort of had as we were figuring out the crossover was we basically, a year ago with Elseworlds, we basically said to the audience, Oliver's gonna die.
Yeah.
So you may not be surprised he's dying, but you're certainly surprised he's dying this fast.
Yeah, you're like, what? Now?
Now? And it's end of hour one?
Yeah.
You're crazy, there's 4 more hours to go.
That handoff to me, it was a really special moment where you get presented the suit, and that's everything in this world, man. The hero passing
No, I
on
hear
the
you,
mantle to
Reverse
somebody
Scully.
else or giving
Reverse
them
Scully
their
says, not
true
trying to be
identity.
offensive,
That's
but I
everything.
cried
Let's take
more
a
than
look at that
Stein's
scene
death.
right now.
Oh, I cried at
Want to
Stein's
see?
death.
I did. I have something for you.
What is it?
One more way to find out.
Please tell me you're planning on wearing this.
I don't think that one would fit me. There should always be at least one Green Arrow.
Come on, man. You don't even have to have a daughter in real life to find that incredibly moving. These shows have always been about family, either the family you come from or the family that you make. What do you think, man? Does Mia want this responsibility?
That's been the toughest kind of struggle for Mia throughout her entire process of being involved in this. She was raised in a world in which vigilantes were villainized. And she's come full circle with that, having met her father and kind of gotten a look into the difficult choices he's had to make. But now she's been through and worked through all of these issues and has a wonderful relationship with her father. She doesn't want the responsibility because she doesn't want to lose him.
Right.
She knows she can take it on. She knows she's ready for it. But she's finally filled the one missing piece of her life and doesn't want to lose that. And that's kind of the tragedy is that, yes, there always needs to be one Green Arrow, but there's only one Green Arrow. So she knows that that's coming to an end, and it's difficult, but also it's
Steven has been so instrumental into passing the torch both on and off screen in this sense, and so that scene meant so much to both of us. I think we were both a little emotional in that moment.
So did you have to like learn how to shoot fake arrows?
I did. I mean, I did archery in Girl Scout camp when I was a kid.
Don't brag, man.
I'm saying like a day or two. It's nothing like this. But we have an amazing archery coach on the show who's a master archer, and she's the one who trained Steven. So as soon as I was on the show, they said, all right, you have to learn this too, because eventually you're going to get there. So I went and trained with her, and she is the ultimate badass, I tell you. She taught me everything I needed to know. And there are a few scenes, though, where Oliver and Mia do a little bit of training, and that's actually coming up very shortly. So we do get to see that. And it's such a wonderful moment that really bonds the two of them. Because Mia initially was trained by Nissa Al Ghul, who also kind of trained Oliver in a way, and it's a full circle.
I remember end of season 2, Katrina Law, we're in the big tunnel fight. Nissa Al Ghul is firing arrows like this, and I'm like, Katrina, you're killing me. Seriously, every time you do that, you're spending thousands of dollars. Katrina, just a little slower, just a little bit. Help me out. Yeah.
Well, that's funny because when I was on Supergirl, it was very different. They said, "Oh, just fire a couple shots here and a couple shots here." I'm used to being on Arrow. I said, "Okay, well, how many?" Because I know they go, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Just as many as you can."
They're like, this is Krypton, kid. We got all the money.
I'll just fire up all the arrows.
I want to thank Kat for joining us, man. You did a great job on the show. Did a great job on the panel. Thank you so much, man. When we come back, we're going to meet the Monitor and map out the multiverse. All that and more on Crisis Aftermath. Don't quiver, Arrow fans. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm just I'm kind of at a loss, actually. I don't know, Tiff, what did you think of this first episode?
I actually enjoyed it. I liked it, but I'm also caught up on a lot of the shows, so it's I don't feel like anything is missing. I feel that for the first episode, I mean, they've got a lot to explain and a lot to get through in this first episode to set it up for these next 2 days and for the ones in January. So I just feel that they're, with the plethora of stuff that they had to do, that I thought that it wasn't too bad for the first episode out. And it looks like they've got more of what we're looking for tomorrow. With, Adam, Kingdom Come Superman looking at Hecklin going, hey, nice glasses.
Yeah.
I was hoping for something like that.
I'm hoping we get a ton of those kinds of scenes tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Like them just going back and forth with Superman stuff.
Exactly.
Like references
And you need one from Welling, too, so.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm just being real here. This was another disappointing Supergirl episode. There were a couple of cool scenes in it. I just don't like Supergirl anymore. I can't do it.
Can I delete the ones I've watched then?
Yep. The acting by the Supergirl actors is just horrible. The forcedness of that show, and you're looking at a man who's got Superman tattooed on him. My son's middle name is Jor-El because I am such a Superman fan. I know I'm wearing a Flash hoodie right now, but that's not. I am a Superman fan through and through, have been since I was old enough to talk. And this show is just, every time, and it doesn't even matter that it's Crisis, I want to throw something through my TV. It just insists upon itself to put Superman down. Like I said, I would have no problem with Clark showing his human side, with showing that he was affected by the fact that he had to put Jonathan in the pod and send him off and not knowing and stuff. But for Superman to lose hope and have to have Supergirl give him a pep talk, because that's how it just always has to be on Supergirl. It insists upon itself. It demands that Supergirl be better than Superman in every way, every week that it's on. Anytime Superman shows his face on the show, they keep throwing in the little digs. It was even the little dig when they're up there and they're both blasting the panel with their heat vision, and he's the first one.
It's back.
Yeah, it's back, but whatever. He's the first one to lose his ability to keep going, and he's the one who faints and falls down first, and then she just keeps going because she's so powerful, and then she finally comes down. When she comes down, you know, he's just all weak and everything. He's just like, oh, you always just gotta one-up me. I'm sick of it. I'm done with that crap. Which really makes me scared to death what they're gonna do for the Superman TV show. Because if they have no respect for Superman whatsoever on this show.
Every hero imaginable is here.
It's massive. We are making television history.
This is never going to happen again.
Lots of things are never going to happen again. Joining us now is the man responsible for the biggest crisis ever, the Monitor himself, LaMonica Garrett. Man, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. The Monitor is arguably one of the most important characters in the DC universe, okay? How do you handle
I'll address
the
that
pressure of
just a
playing
second,
part that
Jesse.
big?
As a DC fan, it's easy to get caught up in the magnitude of who
Thank
he
you
is
for
and
your
what his
comment.
presence
I will
means,
address
but
that in a
as the
second
actor,
once
I
we
gotta
go back
focus
from
on his
commercial on
objectives
this.
and just going after what he needs and what he wants.
And how is that, like, as an actor, like, normally you play the objective in a normal world. This guy's objective is cosmic.
It's more than global. It's cosmic. It's universes. It's the biggest thing I've ever tackled. But it's been awesome.
What was it like strapping on the costume?
It was constricting. Yeah, constricting and it's aesthetics first.
Yeah,
as long as it looked, as long as it looked the part, it was good.
Welcome to the superhero game, where like your movement is very limited. Yes. As the Monitor, man, you're pretty much constantly pissing people off. Let's take another look at a pivotal moment with you. Check it out.
I spared your friends' lives so they could save their world last year. This is a very different threat.
You need to stop playing games with me. You tell me why the Anti-Monitor is doing this. And then tell me how I'm going to prevent it.
Not knowing what you are fighting means you prepare for every possibility. Because this threat brings with it the annihilation of all life and all realities. Do you now comprehend the scope of the danger we all now face?
Something so interesting about the Monitor is you never know how much you can trust him, man. Like, how do you approach playing that?
I think the writers take more credit with that, than me, but they write it well, they write him well. But I think anyone that shows up delivering that much bad news with a straight face, you're not going to trust them too much.
Let me ask you this. When you got cast, did you go out and get the crisis issues? Like, because Monitor's on a lot of the covers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, it's me!
I didn't know I got cast as a Monitor at first.
Really?
Yeah, Mark had to tell me, after the fact. But I didn't know who I was reading for.
Not after you shot the crossover.
No.
You're like, guess what? You were the Monitor.
I got Crisis. I was familiar with it as a fan. And when I knew I was the Monitor, I went back, got it, reread it. And then when I found out I was playing the Anti-Monitor, I went back and reread it again with a fresh set of eyes. So, yeah.
Well, with all the suiting up that was going on set, was there any sort of like, hey, no pictures, no pictures?
We're always saying no pictures, no pictures. And as if anyone's been on Twitter, you know how successful we were.
Yeah, all pictures, all pictures.
all the time.
Is there anything you could tell us about the Monitor's backstory that maybe we didn't get from the show?
Actually, one of the fun things that we're doing.
That's not it, Jesse. I'll explain my position a little bit better.
We're going to open Hour 4, which is the Arrow Hour, which is coming. It's not even on until January.
Yeah, it's the 2020. We got to wait for that.
We open with basically the mother of all flashbacks, and we basically do the secret origin of the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor.
Really?
Yeah. And actually, that whole sequence, the first draft, it was actually written by Marv Wolfman.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah.
So has he been working on the shows, or did you pull him in for Crisis?
We pulled him in for the Arrow Hour. He and I co-wrote the Arrow Hour.
So for all of us who are like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing Crisis. His mind must be bent.
He's just been so fantastic and so enthusiastic, and he came in and met with all the writers across all the superhero shows and just sort of held court for 2 hours, just telling us all about the history of Crisis, the history of DC Comics, and you name it. It was like getting a master class in superheroes from obviously one of the masters.
Danny, when did Crisis come into your life? As a DC fan, it didn't come in to my collecting until a few years into my collecting when somebody was like, hey, you know how they got to one universe? And then I went back and read it. When did you fall in?
It wasn't until I was an adult, and even then I think I didn't fully grasp the magnitude of it. I'm very fascinated to hear about his origin. I think it'd be funny if they just wrote in like the teenage years of the Monitor. Even though I know that that's like not, but that would be hilarious. I think just, you know.
The kids in high school did give him a lot of crap for his mutton chops.
Oddly enough, not the outfit. The outfit
The outfit was totally. It's funny, actually. We give you in that origin story. We give you an explanation for the outfit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What themes were you focused on in Crisis? What did you want to bring out the most in the storytelling?
Sacrifice and redemption. I mean, and pretty much.
Geez, I wonder who that's.
I know. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
But like, you know, and every character is sort of dealing with that. And I think sort of one of the other sort of sub themes is the concept of passing the torch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the passing of the torch from Oliver to Mia. It's, you know, you'll sort of see. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's a lot of, you know, passing of the torch and keeping the flame alive that goes throughout the entire 5-hour event.
I don't know what anyone told you, but we brought you here to spoil things. So don't be hiding things. Now, as you can see, the multiverse is vast and complex, and a lot of people are intimidated by that, man. But we're going to show you all how simple and straightforward it really is. We brought in Chancellor Agard from Entertainment Weekly to walk us through the state of the multiverse. Chancellor, bring out your corner, man.
Well, the multiverse is down 6 Earths after this episode, including Earth 2, which faded to dust in the Arrow Season 8 premiere. Tonight, we started on Earth 89.
So wait, hold on. It's gone.
It's gone. It's already, yeah.
Okay.
So we started on Earth 89, where we saw Robert Wolf.
Robert Wolf's back!
From the Tim Burton Batman movies.
And then?
Gone.
Gone.
And presumably along with Michael Keaton. From there, we traveled across the Cameoverse to Earth 9, home of DC Universe's Titans.
And?
In the first ever Arrow... Oh, that's gone too, yeah. In the first ever Arrowverse crossover of the streaming show. But they're dead already, so...
Gone. What was the point?
From there, Earth X went next. And then Earth 66 was the next to go, along with Burt Ward, who played Robin in the classic Batman series in 1966.
So absolutely cool. Wholly dead, Robin.
And then the antimatter wave started traveling towards Argo, which is where Superman, Lois Lane, Baby Jonathan, and Supergirl's mom, Allure, were living. But she's dead now. Luckily, Clark and Lois aren't, though, because the Harbinger teleported them to Earth 38, and then Baby Jonathan zipped off in an escape pod. At the same time, Harbinger then traveled to Earth 1, where she collected Oliver, Mia, Ray, Sarah, Kate, Barry, and brought them all over to Earth 38. Meanwhile, Sarah, Lois, and Brainy traveled to Earth 16 to find Baby Jonathan, who was in a future version of Star City with Old Man Oliver Queen. After all that, though, Earth 38 was still wiped out by the Anti-Monitor. Luckily, though, our heroes managed to save about a couple billion people and themselves and bring them all the way back to Earth 1, which is where we left them.
Okay. That covers everything.
Everything, yeah.
Give it up for Chancellor. That was actually pretty damn amazing.
Nice.
All right, man, I'm sweating. That was a lot to take in, man. Before we go further, I want to thank LaMonica Garrett for joining us. Excellent job. When we return, we mourn our fallen heroes. And here's some very interesting fan predictions. Back in a flash with more Crisis Aftermath.
Okay, so regarding Jesse's question, because Jesse said you didn't like the entire Supergirl show because you have so high regard for your version of Superman. No, that's not it. I watched the first 3 seasons of Supergirl religiously, and I love Supergirl. What I can't deal with Supergirl anymore is this. 1, it insists upon every storyline being shoved right down your throat. There is no subtlety with Supergirl, with the Supergirl show. There is no room for you to be able to think your own thoughts on the Supergirl show. It's if you do not agree with the show, you're some kind of bad person or whatever, because politically the show is ridiculously all over the place and demanding of everybody who watches the show to think like it. Plus, you have things like in 2 crossovers ago, Supergirl telling Alex that having a one-night stand is a healthy thing for somebody to do. I don't care who you are, that's just not something Supergirl should be telling anybody. Or promoting for that matter. I understand people have one night stands. I understand people make decisions. That is none of my business. But the thing is for Supergirl to tell Alex flat out that yes, sometimes you just got to get that out of your system, and sometimes you got to do that, and that's healthy for you. That I have a problem with, and that was where I started having a problem with the show. Where I continue to have a problem with the show is not just because it's not my version of Superman. Tyler Hoechlin's version so far, they have not let him be Superman.
We like him as a person and an actor, but
I like him. I like him. I want to see his Superman show, and I want to see that Superman show succeed. But they've literally cut his legs out from underneath of him every time he's on the Supergirl show. I get it. It's her show. I totally understand that. I understand that she's got to be strong because it's the Supergirl show. But it's not my version of Superman. It's not my thing of Superman. It's Superman in general. The best way that I've heard it put is if he was a wrestler, he would be a jobber. And if you don't know that term, a jobber is one of these guys who is just made to lose to make the other guy look better, right? So they make a guy lose all the time to make another guy look better, which is fine if the guy losing looks strong to begin with. But they have not even given Tyler the chance to even look strong. Every time he's on the show, and this is my problem. Literally
said Ann Anderson.
What's that?
Said Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson. That's funny. Literally every time Tyler Hoechlin is on the show, they say something demeaning about Superman. They refer to him as weak or weaker than Kara, not able to do something that Kara is able to do, even though he's Superman. They hype him up that he is that Superman, that he is that iconic Superman, but they've never shown that once. They've never shown, even the last crossover when he fought himself, the bad version of himself, the bad version of him kicked his butt. Like, because it was actually Psycho Pirate or whatever as Superman, because he picked that version, and like that version kicked Superman's butt. Like, Superman has not won a fight, I don't think, since he's been on CW. Like, I don't think that he's actually won a fight, but Supergirl even kicked his butt. And I'm not saying that can't be. I'm just saying, like, it's constantly a dig at Superman. It's constantly just over and over and over and over again. And then, like, for this episode, to just make it so Superman lost hope. Why is it that we got to make Superman look like an idiot? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why can't Superman be strong? Why on this thing? I'm not saying that he has to be perfect because that's not my Superman. My favorite Superman is Henry Cavill's, where he's grounded, he's human, he's, you know, like, that's the Superman I love. I love it when Clark is the real person. I'm not one of these guys who just idolizes Christopher Reeve or something like that in that version of Superman. Because although I like that version of Superman, and that was the version I grew up with, that's not, to me, real Superman. Because in that, Superman is the main character, and Clark is an afterthought. And I don't agree with that. Clark/Superman is more human than most people. But you don't have to make him look weak. It's one of the things that I liked about Smallville was Clark on Smallville. He had his moments of weakness. He wasn't perfect. He made bad decisions and whatever. But the thing is that he was still
Infinite cool guy.
He still had some confidence.
Opener here with us, man. How you doing, Robert?
We're back.
You got a lot to say. Oh, my Lord.
Supergirl has just become the same thing all the time. Every time I try to give it a chance, it
DC
doesn't.
Universe, especially its most famous couple, Superman and Lois Lane. Tonight, they had their world completely upended. Let's look.
Let's set a course for Earth. We'll have enough time to stop this wave before it hits.
Where are the rest?
There are no others. Only this one.
You know, it seems like Kryptonians are always sending their kids off in a space pod. Is this just a rite of passage at this point? Is this what they do? Nobody ever told them, like, there could be another plan.
No, they should have prepared more, built some more pods, but
It's
unfortunately it didn't work out that way.
The whole planet should just be a series of pods ready to go at any moment, so everyone can leave. But no, it's always just big enough for a baby. What was it like to kind of jump back and re-examine a moment that is huge, iconic in comic book history, but then put through this different prism?
Very daunting for us to, we wanted to pay homage to the canon and to, a lot of our inspiration comes from the Donner movies, and so we wanted to pay homage to that as well. We're really excited to have this opportunity to show it through Kal-El's eyes and to do it with Kal-El and Lois.
It's always nice to include Superman, but is the inability to play with the Superman IP is kind of where Supergirl came from, and you guys built something really wonderful, like in a world where it's like, oh, we can't touch the big guy. We can tell every Superman story we ever dreamed about telling through the prism of Supergirl, and in doing so expanded and diversified the Arrowverse. What do we see happen for the Maiden of Might in the rest of the series here? Is she, like the cover of one of the very famous issues of Crisis on Infinite Earths, is she going to be winding up in somebody's arms, lifeless?
I can't give any spoilers.
Come on, Robert!
But she has a very emotional journey in the rest of Crisis. I think one of the things that happens in this hour, she sees Argo destroyed, and so she really is on a mission to try and save that. She's always a character that's full of a lot of hope, and so she wants to, both stop the inevitable and correct what the Anti-Monitor's up to, which is not good.
Can I just say this moment with Clark and Lois when he was like, "Where's the other ships?" And she's like, "They're
Hey, bow down. I'm gonna address that too. Thank you for your comment.
Can they just win once in a while? This man is so selfless. Like, he went off to have his family on another planet. Like, just let him have this moment. Of course they came back, but I also think I'm excited because in the comics, Alexander, actually has some part, and I know that Jonathan stays a baby, but I'm like, there's no way the super baby isn't like popping in. Like, even if it's just to like punch someone, I'm sure the super baby will pop up somewhere.
All the heroes in the Arrowverse are always such strong leads, but you guys got some gold in Tyler. Tyler's absolutely wonderful. We caught up with Tyler, a.k.a. Clark Kent, and got his thoughts on the Man of Steel becoming the Dad of Steel. Check it out.
Jonathan really has your eyes, huh?
I'll take it. It's a new realization, I think, for him of how fragile life really is, and not because he's afraid of losing his, but he's afraid of not being there for his son. So it's definitely something new to take on and a new perspective to look at the world through. But it's been a fun challenge.
How does being a father affect Superman?
I think it really raises the stakes for him. Not only is he trying to protect the universe for his son, but he really, I think, feels much more deeply what he could lose.
They've lost their baby in time and space many, many times. Should Lois and Clark also lose custody?
I would say no.
I mean, I don't think Kryptonians should ever be allowed to have children. Because they don't know what to do with them. They're like, hey, there's an earthquake.
Thanks, Eno. Or Eno.
I also love that they
I
send
don't know how to
them
pronounce
to
your
humans.
name, but thank you for joining us.
Super powered, but they're giving the super powered little individual to the least responsible people that can handle it.
This will work out. Send them to primates. Crisis on Infinite Earths may have just begun, but we already have to say some goodbyes, man. Let's take a moment to pay tribute to all those humans, metahumans, and entire civilizations that we lost tonight.
Knox. Wow, I didn't realize there were that many people there.
The very best of us.
So he was the first.
Robert, I want to thank you so much for joining us, giving us a little of the inside dirt, man. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll get the scoop on the Arrowverse's newest hero, Batwoman. We were Krypton long before we were Krypton. Stick around for...
All right, so All right, Jose. We'll see you later, man. So here's the thing. My only problem is to address Jeff first. So he says, to be fair, Supergirl show didn't give me the impression that Supergirl's better than Superman. I only think about it now that you keep mentioning it, Daddy Enosh. So like he has literally told her now several times that he's been on the show, you're better than me. He straight up has said it. When he first appeared, when they were battling the Kryptonians, and he was mind controlled. And they said that Kara couldn't be mind controlled because she was Kryptonian, but Clark's Kryptonian. In the season finale of the first season, they said that Kryptonians couldn't be mind controlled by the wave that was going on or whatever. Yet Clark was controlled, and they said it was simply because he was raised on Earth. It doesn't change the physiology, but Supergirl, for some reason, couldn't be mind controlled, but Clark was. Then the next season, when they were fighting, Clark once again was mind controlled, but you actually saw him as Tyler when they finally introduced Tyler Hoechlin. And he fights Supergirl. Well, Supergirl flat out beats him. And then later on in the episode, they have to pick Earth's champion to go fight for Earth. And they all look at Superman and say, hey, you gotta go. And he says, no, it's Kara. Kara is better than me. She beat me fair and square, whatever. Okay, and I get it that there are incarnations where Kara is stronger than Superman, so that's fine. Like I said, I wouldn't have a problem if it wasn't all the time. Right? Like all the time. That's the key word here. All the time. Because he tells her, he says, no, Kara, you're better than me. You're stronger than me. You need to go. You're Earth's champion now. Then after the last crossover, when Clark and Lois are getting ready to leave, he literally tells her, because when he says they're going to Argo, she says, you can't leave. The world needs Superman. He says, no, Kara, the world doesn't need Superman as long as Supergirl is here. You're better than me. It's this constant, you're better than me, better than me, better than me thing. That's the problem that I have with it. You shouldn't have to make Superman look lesser to make Supergirl look stronger. You haven't had to in the comics. It doesn't have to be. They should work in tandem. That's how it should be. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They should be able to work in tandem and one shouldn't have to be put down for the other one to succeed. So that's just the way I see it. Bow Down says, everyone has a weakness, and when it comes to family, everyone does, so I think they did a good job with him, and I hated Henry Cavill, Clark Kent. We barely saw him. No, I agree. Everybody has a weakness. That could be, but that would just be one of this Clark Kent's weaknesses, because apparently he's just very weak. He's not a strong Superman. He's kind of more of a weaker Superman, because they keep chopping him down. I will say this, though, about the Henry Cavill thing. That's all we see is Clark Kent in all of Man of Steel. He's not Superman yet. So, like, I know I've heard that argument before that supposedly we don't see, much of his Clark Kent. The whole movie is his Clark Kent. We don't see the traditional glasses wearing, going to work at the Daily Planet Clark Kent, but we see the real home Smallville guy that was raised Clark Kent. That's who he is the entire episode. And it's very much like the John Byrne comics version from 1986 on there for a while. So, all right, we're back to talking about Batwoman.
You're on Earth 38. There was... That rebel was about to talk.
So he speaks to rebels.
It's okay, because we're all on the same side.
Are we? Well, I don't know then.
But you know me. And if you were out here with all these other heroes, it's probably because we need you. I trust everyone in this room with my life, including you.
Well, I guess you should all just call me Kate.
Oh, that's awesome. Joining us now is the showrunner of CW's Batwoman, Caroline Dries, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So good to have you here.
Isn't it awesome though? She just literally punched somebody in the face that she doesn't know.
Yeah,
And like Kara's like,
Batwoman
oh,
has
that's
been
cool.
spending most of the season trying to convince herself and everyone that she loves that her sister Alice, who's the big villain of the season, that she can be redeemed, that there's some humanity left in her.
And that's the Joker.
Yeah, that's sort of like her crazy maniacal Joker counterpart. And it's also her twin sister. And so Batwoman is convinced, look, I can save her. She's worth the time. She's good. She's got good deep down in her. And in the last episode before Crisis, Alice does the unthinkable. She kills somebody very close to Kate and proves that she actually probably isn't redeemable. And that right now, as Kate's entering this crisis, she's starting to wonder, you know, should I put my hope in humanity? Is it worth it? And, you know, am I capable of bringing out the good in people? What am I actually doing?
How does she feel amongst these like super-powered individuals as someone who's fighting without superpowers?
Yeah, it's tricky. You know, I think of being a superhero when you have the fate of the world riding on your shoulders. It's mostly about just showing up to fight the fight. And does she know if a batarangs going to work on a shadow demon? You know, she's never done it before. But that's what makes her special, is that she's willing to do it.
Anybody who loves to play in this field dreams about playing with Gotham City IP.
Yes.
What has it been like to run around and do what you want with Gotham City?
It is such a gift. Obviously, Gotham is the second biggest character on our show. And we've had such a fun time tapping into some of the more familiar characters and villains. And we're also conscientious that the audience has a certain expectation when they see these bad guys that they've seen a million times, and they want a little spin on it.
Right.
And we want to try to tell stories that haven't been seen before. So there's just such a vast encyclopedia of characters, and they're all so weird and colorful. And the fun part about Gotham is that the crazy is built into the DNA of the city, and so she's going up against these villains who are just as strong as she is.
Has there, and this is just inside baseball, has there been any villain that like, you can't touch that?
Yes.
I imagine you can speak to that as well.
I'm sure that I'm sure there's no billion-dollar movie of a character that is related to this decision at all.
Oh, like, you know, the fact of the matter is the Arrowverse has proven that, like, you can do big budget storytelling with vast cast, just as adventurous, just as it captures the imagination as they do, like, in the cinema as well. And it seems to me from the outside, in the beginning, it was very, like, you can only use this guy, and don't even reference this stuff. It seems to be loosening up.
It's, you know, I always look at it as the glass is half full. You know, we never in a million years, when we first started the Arrowverse, thought we were ever Superman, Batwoman, Gotham City. Forget about it. Like, so it's all a gift.
I want to thank Caroline Dries for coming to join us. Thank you for representing Gotham in the Arrowverse. Big thing. And when we come back, I go head to head against my podcast co-host and primary life rival, Mark Bernard, in a game of DC trivia. Keep it right here, man. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Did you used to say that on his show?
What's that?
Same bat time, same bat channel?
That was the 1966 statement there. So I don't know if everybody's just watching or whatever, but we're a little quiet tonight. Isaac, what are some of your thoughts, man?
For the episode?
Yeah, for the episode.
I really liked it, but one thing I keep on seeing is everybody saying that this is how Oliver dies, but it's not, because they pretty much showed that he's not gonna like physically die like how he did in this episode in Crisis.
So this was his physical death.
Yeah, and then now, what's next is when Felicity goes into that
They're
portal.
giving him a mulligan.
That's pretty much what it is.
Because he's like, this is not how I saw you dying, pretty much. This is not how I see you sacrificing. So he's going to give him a mulligan and be like, okay, last chance.
Yeah.
It's like Peter when he wanted to meet Lois for the first time. He was like, Death?
That's
Another.
What would you guys rate this episode 1 through 10? I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the episode as a whole. 1 through 10, what would you rate the episode? That's cool, William. That's cool that you're working on a startup business, man. That's awesome. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Isaac.
I'd say out of 10, I'd probably give it a 9.5.
Really?
Yeah. I really liked it, and I like how they're starting to get everybody together now, and they've like already set it up enough so that way they don't have as much to set up, so there's more like action like later in the crossover.
And I hope that that's true. I hope that it's not, because that was my one complaint. That was my one big complaint about Elseworlds, was every episode seemed like
set up until the last episode.
Jordan has it.
Yeah.
Jordan says, I mean, the Monitor has the Book of Destiny, so he could bring Oliver back.
Yeah. But I think tomorrow, like.
Yes, it is, Sky.
I think tomorrow's
yeah,
the last
it's
setup episode, and I think
about
that.
45 minutes.
And I think Flash is gonna be set up for the cliffhanger, and then when it comes back, that's gonna be finishing off Crisis for the 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it first setup episode. The only thing that I didn't like is pretty much this whole episode was pretty much to get everybody off of Earth 38. It was like they could have done more than just get everybody off of Earth 38. They could have done that in the first half of the episode.
Yeah, well that's, so.
That's the only thing that I didn't like about the episode.
So, besides the Superman stuff, and you guys know that I'm just passionate about Superman.
Yeah.
Right? And so, I don't like seeing what I saw tonight. But also, just overall, I just felt like there was a bunch of stand around, waste time, like posing, you know, and then like the Batwoman stuff where she punches a Harbinger in the face and all that stuff. It's like, that stuff I just, like when it was good was like that one shot like you kept talking about, like when they were fighting.
I loved it when
and
they were
kept
fighting on the
going in and out.
rooftop, and it was almost like you saw from like those
One of those wraiths or whatever it was. Yeah, that was amazing. That
was
looked
cool.
awesome. I loved all that stuff. I mean, I thought that stuff was really brilliantly done. It started off with a bang, which was awesome. So yeah,
Getting everybody together.
the hype. I gotta agree.
Sweet, Jordan, that's awesome.
I gotta agree with William. The hype was a 15 out of 10. It was very, very, very hype.
Those first few minutes, just seeing all the different cameos, I was like, I mean, that got my heart pumping.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we get the Kingdom Come characters.
Yes.
And then also, whoever that Western-looking guy is. I'm wondering
What do you mean, Bruce?
No, that guy that's
Here on the stage of Destiny.
Oh, the
is
one
my
that I
friend
think
and
looks
fat
like
man
Jonah Hex,
Mark
but it's
Bernard,
not.
welcome. Hey, how are you? I'm amazing. Now, it's confusing for the home
I know.
viewer because Danny's in my seat now. That's because she's going to be the games master for a little competition we like to call Crisis: After Feud.
Jordan says tomorrow is also a trailer for Ghostbusters 3.
Kevin, I am going to ask a series of trivia questions about the DC Universe. If you have an answer, please raise your specially made Crisis paddle, and I'll call on you. Trash talking is encouraged.
Oh, thank God.
Extra points will be assigned for making the other person cry.
Oh, I brought tissues.
The winner will be awarded the prize of never shutting up about it. So, gentlemen, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, first question. In The Flash, Harrison Wells founded Star Labs. What does STAR stand for?
You might have wanted to work up to the hard ones, Danny.
Yes, Mark.
Scientific, technical, advanced research.
Oh, yeah, but there's an A in there, friend.
Advanced.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Okay, never mind.
Dude,
Sorry.
can I get a point?
Yeah, you got it.
I didn't know that.
All right, moving on. This is multiple choice.
Yes.
Arrowverse fans are very familiar with the concept of parallel Earths, but the idea was first introduced with what DC Comics superhero? Is it A, Wonder Woman, B, Green Lantern, or C, Dr. Fate?
Great.
Ooh.
Mark.
Green Lantern.
That is incorrect. And Steel, Kevin, yes.
I'm gonna go Dr. Fate.
Oh, you're both wrong.
We're in.
It is Wonder Woman, Diana Prince herself.
You know, that just shows our gender bias, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
We're like, how'd you be a man? You got to the multiverse. Apparently not.
Argo's now destroyed shield was made of Harunel, aka Black Kryptonite. Back when Supergirl used it to defeat Rain, it split her in two and sent her other half to what inhospitable land?
Fortress of Desolation? No, I don't know. Apocalypse?
No. It is Casmia. Okay.
Danny, this is really depressing. This is all I got in life is knowing about this stuff, and I don't know it anymore. For the record, I'm winning. Yeah, you are. You should be hosting this. You're really making me look bad.
Okay, if Robert Wolf from 1989's Batman is found on Earth 89, and the Flash from 1990 TV show is found on Earth 90, on what number Earth will you find a Mr. Freeze that looks and sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I'm going to say 97. Earth 97.
Can you please raise your paddle?
Earth 97.
That is correct.
Yes!
That is correct.
I remember the 90s.
And I remember those nipples. Okay, here we go. How did Oliver
that would
Queen
still
die
be
in the
89.
1990s comic version?
That's Chuck Dixon's fault. Chuck Dixon killed him. Oliver had his hands in a device, an exploding device, and if he removed one of his hands, it would have set off the bomb and exploded the plane. Superman was there, and he was like, we can do this, but I would have to, he intimates that he'd have to laser off Oliver's arm, which then would have made Oliver look like the Dark Knight Returns Oliver Queen, who only had one arm. So while we were reading the books, we're like, oh, the future's here! And then instead, Oliver chose to die.
Yes. Kevin, that incredibly long answer is correct. Yeah! So you are actually our winner.
I'm the filibuster winner! I just said a lot of words and I won, man. Figures. Thank you for making me look good on TV. That's right. Thank you for asking me those questions. You guys did very well. When we come back, we're going to take a glimpse into the future of Crisis on Infinite Earth after you go through this wormhole of infinite commercials.
I miss his show. At least we got to see him.
Yeah, so I'm still there were things that I liked about the first episode, and the things that I really, really liked. But I think just the fact that it was a Supergirl episode, those things just outweigh it for me. And
Chapped your butt.
and it did. It made me feel very frustrated. And I don't like feeling frustrated, but it seems like every time I just look at the characters on Supergirl, I get frustrated. Like, they're all annoying to me now. Like, just looking at them, and I don't know why, and I hate that because I love the characters.
I'm caught up on this season though, and a couple things changed, and I actually
love the
kind of like
show.
this season.
Everybody just seems to have such a bad attitude. Alex has a bad attitude. Martian Manhunter seems to have a bad attitude with people.
They both have been through some stuff. In the
I know
last
they've been
season,
through
though.
stuff, but like all these
I'm
characters.
talking the last season. They went through
Yeah.
some crazy stuff.
But I mean, Lena's obviously got a bad
They need
attitude.
cookies.
You know, I'm just saying, like, all these characters go through a bunch of stuff on all these shows. You know what I mean? But it's like, and then it's like Batwoman is the same thing. It's kind of a continuation of that. Like, Batwoman has just a horrible attitude about
Said
everything.
something interesting.
What's that?
Do you think the original timeline Barry will show up in this?
Ooh.
Like before
Huh.
Flashpoint Barry? Like the one that sent the message to the future about
Oh.
Oliver?
William says all the women have a bad attitude. Batwoman just needs a reality check. I think the show with Tyler Hoechlin has a better chance of doing better because it's not going to be on Supergirl at
I
all.
hope so. I really hope so. That's what I'm really
Is
hoping for.
that Lois supposed to be on the show with him then?
Yes. Yes.
I think that the show has a better chance without her being involved. Where if she does a cameo, he's like, nope, sorry, it's my Earth. Back off.
Yeah, right.
I got this.
Well, but you know, even so I don't know if you guys caught it, but Kevin even alluded to the fact that when they first made the show, they gave a bunch of Superman's backstory and villains and storylines and stuff that had happened to Superman to Supergirl because they never thought that they were going to see Superman on here. So I think that that's an issue too. Like Metallo got his
They had him on for a while.
got his origin story in Supergirl. So I get things
Also
can
Hank
change
Henshaw.
and stuff, but you
And
know.
also you got Hank Henshaw in season 2. Well, at least where I'm at. He's still in season 2.
Jordan, that's how I feel too. Jordan says, I want the optimism of Superman back into the overall feel of the show. Absolutely.
Maybe we need to start a hashtag for them.
Maybe. Ergen Cruz says, the Barry who saved himself from Reverse Flash. Yeah.
Yeah, the pre-Flashpoint Barry. That would be cool.
Guardian says 8.4 Wonder Women out of 10. I like it. I like it. William says every single girl character in the CW has horrible writing. I'm trying to think of. I want to dispute that.
Harley Quinn is written well, but it's also on another,
Was it
the
Felicity?
cartoon one that we're watching.
Well, no, he said in the CW.
Oh, there is one girl that is written really well,
Who's that?
but it's a show you don't watch.
What's that?
Nancy Drew.
But that's not DC.
Oh.
Felicity.
Oh well, maybe
It's
not. I don't know. I
CW.
was talking. Yeah, maybe he's just talking about CW. I don't know.
I really
Well,
like
acting, we are
Felicity and Sarah
24
Lance.
hours away
Yeah,
from the next
yeah, I do
installment
like
of
those.
Crisis on
Felicity,
Infinite Earths.
maybe,
and all
yeah.
we know
Sarah Lance
is that
is written really
anything
well in
can happen.
Legends too.
Quantum Towers shot out of the ground. Burt Ward got killed after 2 seconds in a very clever line. So we went to New York Comic Con and we asked our beloved fans what they think is going to go down. Check it out.
I am so excited for Crisis on Infinite Earths. So many different characters from so many different multiverses.
I think it's going to set up a lot to bring Gotham City into the fold and all of those characters and really be able to kind of set them up for the Batwoman show, which I'm excited for as well.
I really hope we find out what happened to Bruce Wayne.
I would really like to see Sarah Lance reunite with the new Black Canary.
I'm really excited to see Brendan Roth wear the cape. I felt he was an underappreciated Superman.
Maybe a clash between Supergirl and Batwoman and see how they go up against each other.
I do think Flash is going to be leading the whole group.
Maybe Batwoman will take the lead.
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I know. Boy, oh boy, everyone's
Because
got an
she's
opinion.
not in a position.
Were any of them right, Mark? Did any of them hit?
There are a couple of things in there that we hit.
When you're writing the shows, when the shows are airing and whatnot, do you pay attention to the internet?
Yeah, actually.
Do they ever guess in advance?
Always.
Really? So they figure it out?
The Twitter is like crowdsourcing the writer's room. So,
Right.
yes, people are
All
constantly.
right, William. Thanks, man.
Predicting
We're getting ready to get
stuff.
off here
Oh my
as soon as
God,
this
they
is
got
done. By the way.
Yes, oh no, it's incredibly annoying. At the same time, they're
Annoying, but at the same time, it's flattering because they're all
they're
over it.
thinking about it,
Yeah.
you know, and they're smart. The internet's smart, man.
Where do you fall on the scale of fandom of Arrowverse? How deep and hard do you go, Danny?
Oh man, I mean, I feel like I've been here since day one, so it's been so cool to see all these characters on, that honestly, you also grow with them. Like, you talked about redemption, and I feel like we've grown with Oliver, we've grown with Barry, and one thing that I didn't really get to touch on was that moment with Sarah and older Oliver, where she says, you're a good man, and I think when other
every
Oliver dies
universe.
and he says, Barry, you're the best of us, it's because he always discredits himself.
Right.
He's had so much growth, and it's like, I just love that moment of her giving him his redemption of you too are also a good man, and that is what all the rest of us see.
You've been watching these shows since the jump?
Since the jump, yeah. I was an OG Arrow fan. And it's funny because it's hard to still stay as passionate about things as you do as you get older, as the show gets older. But these shows are always like a renewable resource. Like they always find ways to seduce you back in. And sometimes it's the crossover, sometimes it's big character moments, and sometimes it's just these people that you kind of love, watching them do these things over and over and over again. And yeah, you just kind of I like that love.
It's true. I love these shows. Like, I don't care if Barry faces a villain every year that I know is going to be speed-based. Like, what else is he going to do? I appreciate that it's a family affair and always has been. And every one of the Arrowverse series ultimately does that, man. It's about the family you have and the family you build. It's fantastic. I want to thank all my guests, Mark Guggenheim, Danny Fernandez, Mark Bernardin, Kat McNamara, LaMonica Garrett, Robert Rovner, and Caroline Dries, man. Thank you all for coming in, giving us a little addition of the dirt. We're going to be back on Tuesday night for more giddy superhero chatter after Crisis Hour 3, man. I'm gonna hunker down in my fortress of solitude. You know what that means. Until then, make sure you come back, man. The whole universe is at stake. See you next time, Crisis Aftermath.
Tuesday, so maybe every other day.
Catch him.
Yeah.
There's
So.
only 3 days.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that they're putting 2 more after.
Yep.
Oh, they're showing the trailer from earlier.
Everyone has a part to play.
Who wants to make Batman?
Kate.
Bruce?
Nice glasses. Thanks.
Crisis on Infinite Earths, the CW's crossover event continues tomorrow at 8/7
So it's
And they're
amazing.
back in the game. Sorry.
It's amazing how it's been that long, but you can see he stepped right back into Clark Kent and
Who?
better. Brandon Routh, and better because he actually talks. He appears like he's still that Clark Kent, that kind of geeky Clark Kent, But even though he's that geeky Clark Kent, he's still more confident than he was in Superman Returns.
I also would credit that to Legends, because ever since he's been on that show and playing Adam, he is that nerd geek tech mogul that he's had to be, where it's like he puts the suit on and that confidence and he's helping and he's saving people, but yet when he's on the ship as himself, as Ray, he's that like joking like we are, like he's got like the guys and he's like we're gonna do, it's like they're joking, oh well hi, they're joking around, and yet he's got that geeky nerdy. The guy we saw that we met at Comic-Con, that is Ray Palmer on the show.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like those years doing that is probably going to make his Clark Kent better for this.
I think so too, and I just think that I'm gonna actually shoot a video tomorrow, actually, because my thoughts are about this, about his portrayal of Superman in this series. I believe at the end of the day, this will be his defined Superman.
Brandon Routh.
Irvin?
This will be Brandon Routh's. This will be like what we remember as far, because right now there's so much divide on his Superman because people either loved it or hated it.
And there's no in between.
I did not really care for it, but it wasn't necessarily his fault. It was just a bad movie and it was bad writing and they didn't have him do anything. With this, I think this is going to redeem him as Superman, and now going forward, we will not focus on, when we think Brandon Routh's Superman, we will not focus Superman Returns. We will remember his Superman version from this.
So his Kingdom Come Superman, is that like a completely different Superman, or is that a continuation of his Superman Returns Superman?
So as far as I know,
Because
this is a
Irvin
continuation of Superman Returns Superman.
Okay.
And Irvin said, isn't his Reeves Superman continued?
As far as we know, yeah, I mean, because it was in Returns. It was in Returns. It was supposed to be the continuation of Reeves' Superman. So, as far as we know, his version of Kingdom Come Superman is supposed to be Reeves' Superman, just older, having got this. So, but I really think that we're going to see that moving forward in the future, when we talk about Brandon Routh, we're immediately going to go to Crisis on Infinite Earths and talk about, man, when he played, Kingdom Come Superman, that was his definitive Superman. Instead of that, because I think that there's hints in Superman Returns of that.
If he were given the chance.
But it's just not there for the whole movie. Like the moment that he gets shot in the eyeball, the famous scene where he gets shot in the eyeball.
It just like curls right.
Yeah, and it crunches right into his eyeball, and then he just looks, and then it shows and he looks up at the guy. That is a wink of that right there.
Yeah.
That confidence. But unfortunately, the rest of the movie, he doesn't always have that confidence.
Was not written well enough.
Yeah, and so I would have liked a movie of that kind of confidence instead of him just looking at everything.
I think we're going to get that here, though, which is
I
going to
hope
redeem
so.
it.
And honestly, so here's the thing too. From what I've seen so far, and I hate to say it, they're jobbing out Tyler Hoechlin's Superman again, because I think Brandon Routh's Superman is going to be the alpha Superman in the show, because they've already shown him holding Tyler Hoechlin by the neck up against the wall, looking the other way like it doesn't even bother him, and Tyler's like sitting there like that. So it's like,
don't discount Tom Welling.
Well, but I don't think we're not going to see Tom Welling suit up as Superman, is what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, I think Brandon Routh's Superman at the end of the day is, when we look back on Crisis, we're going to look at that and see that Brandon Routh's Superman was more Superman than Tyler Hoechlin's Superman.
One thing that Berlanti was saying is you see a lot of passing the torch in Crisis. And maybe that's what we're going to see, is maybe he's like the
Arrow's daughter giving her a suit.
Brandon Routh's Superman's gonna be like that Superman, and then by the end of it, he passes it off to Tyler Hoechlin. Like, you need to continue, you need to carry on Superman.
Yeah.
You need to be Superman.
I can see that.
And I think and I think that's what's gonna give him like that confidence, like for his show.
Irving, I think it'd be cool if they actually did start the Justice League after this crossover. If they all say, hey, look, you know what, we're gonna get together, we're gonna make this a thing.
Yes, Jordan, I agree.
But you need Batman for that, because Batwoman's not gonna be that character.
No.
Oliver would have been the closest thing to that, but Oliver's gonna be gone after this.
We definitely need a Crisis on Infinite Earth Blu-ray, yes.
Hey, Boogaloo.
So, anyways,
Hi.
so there we are, folks. Night one. It's a little divisive. We got
House divided.
yeah, we got a, what was yours?
You never asked.
Oh, what was your, I'm sorry, I thought I asked you. What was your rating for this episode?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Yep.
So you're an 8. What were yours?
Mine was
9.5.
mine was an 8 because it wasn't perfect. There were things that I wasn't crazy about, but the love of knowing where this is going for the next couple nights is keeping it at an 8 for me. They've got to continue or make it better tomorrow for me to up my number.
Gotcha. Hey Logan, I know you weren't in this thing, but what do you give the first episode? 1 through 10.
7.
7? Yeah. So I'm a little on the low end. I'm hovering between 6 and 6.5. I think I'm gonna give it a 6.5 just because it was cool and hype and the beginning was awesome and all that was fun.
Yeah, Titans.
I just
completely
I know.
the Titan things. The Titan thing. I was so surprised.
If they would have
that I
been
actually did it.
taping, they probably would have had to turn down their volume because I was yelling.
Out of all those like rumors, I was like, that one's the least likely one. Is the Titans one?
But it's interesting because they're saying all these worlds are done. Well, Titan's coming back for season 3, so obviously something's got to change,
So of all the Earths that come back, that's gonna be one of them for sure.
right?
Carter says, I wish they showed how Oliver actually got injured besides the shadows. And
Yes.
Irvin said, well, they existed in E2 back in Flash S2.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Carter. Thank you for chiming in. I totally agree with you. Like why didn't we see that? Like we saw him drop the
Because
the
it
bow
wasn't his final death.
and go.
Yeah.
But see, that's what made the whole thing kind of feel like really weak. Like because it didn't feel like there was no emotion there. Honestly.
You just saw him do that run like, I'm going to be the one that, I know this is where I'm supposed to get, but I knew that wasn't going to be the way he goes out.
That's another reason why that can't be it because there's no emotion behind it. There was nothing showing behind it. There was like nothing. It was like, and I honestly kept waiting for him. Like it was like,
Yoda-ing it?
like I kept waiting for him to like keep messing with him or something and go, no guys, I'm not. And it's like, why didn't they try to get him some medical help? They didn't even know what was wrong with him. He could have maybe lived.
Yeah.
Shock him. Do something. Barry could have come on and gone, clear. I don't know, something. They didn't even try to save him. That's kind of weird too.
Well, I think that's
Carter
gonna be the
says he
thing
also
that's
didn't
gonna-
like the fight scene with the shadows.
I think that's gonna be one thing by the end of it because right now everybody does.
I agree, Carter. The one part I did like with the shadows, I liked when they were weaving in and out. I liked that part, but yeah, like a lot of it didn't.
He was still
Oh, sorry.
Right now, for the people that watch all the shows, you don't like Monitor. You know, you're not happy with them. But I think that's gonna be like the thing that kind of like is like, okay, you're on the good side now. You're not trying to just.
Trying to get to daddy?
You're just not trying to benefit yourself like it looks like right now. It looks like the Monitor's just trying to benefit himself so he can live Crisis.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's gonna be the thing that's gonna start like the chain reaction of okay, Monitor's on our side.
Well, Irving Cruz makes a good point though. He says the Monitor can literally revive people.
Yeah, so that's what we can do for Oliver.
Because
So-
he even said that this isn't what I foresaw
Yeah.
it happening, so
If-
you need a mulligan to fix this.
If the Monitor didn't say that, I'd be like, is this how Oliver goes? But since the Monitor said that,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
Foreshadowing for
gonna
tomorrow.
be he's coming back. I think that's gonna be why everybody's
Can
getting
I
the
help you?
7. He's gonna try and bring Oliver back.
Because if he's gonna do something, regardless of what he does, if he was told, I am going to be the one to take the place of Flash and Kara, it has to be a bigger sacrifice that some shadows got me. That's my thought at least.
And plus,
Yeah.
when he does go, I think it's gonna
Make
be
it
his
an
episode.
actual sacrifice.
I think it's gonna be his episode when he goes.
Yes, that makes more sense.
Baby.
That makes it more fitting too.
You see the Wookiee? You see Wookiee on here?
Hey, Boogie Bear.
Well, yeah, I think so too. Carter said something. I think the Monitor shouldn't have talked to Oliver and poofed him away like the other heroes. Like he's like, just poof, you're gone. Poof, you're gone. Poof, you're gone. Hey, Oliver, like, why wouldn't you just go poof, you're gone too?
Yeah.
Like I said, that for me was it. There was just a lot of loopholes in this episode.
But they also left a lot of loose ends because they got 2 more shows to kick it up a notch.
But honestly, I honestly think it's because it's Supergirl. Because Supergirl's writing just isn't as good. It's just not as strong as some of the other episode or some of the other series. It's just, it's like it's honestly like all their writing is forced on Supergirl. That's just my opinion. It just feels like it's like the writers just aren't as with it on that show to be able to write something that's strong. I feel like probably the best writers are probably on Arrow, with a close second being the Flash. But
and I say third would be Legends.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think Legends would be third, and I think
And Black Lightning would be after that for me.
yeah, and I think probably Supergirl is like that.
Dead last.
Well, I wouldn't say dead last because I think it and Batwoman are kind of tied right now. Because Batwoman, like, is even though Batwoman isn't like
If you
the
would have
political
caught
stuff,
up, you would have.
It's starting to get its traction
Yeah.
right now.
It's
is it?
getting
Well,
its
because the
traction,
acting
and
is
it's
horrible. Her acting is just bad.
She's actually
I
better
wanted to
within-
stand up for her.
Within her
when she was
show,
gonna
she's
cast.
getting better. The further it's getting, she's
Is it?
actually yeah.
I hope so. Like I said, I really hope so, because Landon the Boss, Landon gave it a 5.5. Yeah, it didn't feel like it, I just want Barry to become the lightning bolt that struck him. You've been on that one for a while, man. I know that you've been on that one for a while. You definitely wanted that. Jordan, I don't remember doesn't anyone remember a comic where Superman stopped a young man from committing suicide and talks to him and became such an emotional moment in Superman history, and he shows he as a character, how he is as a character. I don't remember that, but that definitely does sound like Superman to me.
Eduardo says, I feel Barry Allen will vanish.
I think there'll be the cliffhanger at the end of
Tuesday.
Yeah, at the end of Flash, and then that'll get resolved in
Arrow. I think that's gonna be the thing is Barry's gonna disappear, and then we get the seventh hero.
Yeah.
And the seventh hero's gonna be part of bringing Barry back.
Yeah, it wasn't the absolute worst episode of anything ever, but I just felt like it was really kind of a weak start. It was cool for the hype. It started right out the gate just beautifully with all the characters and all that stuff.
One hope for me though is I hope we don't have to wait till January for Anti-Monitor. I hope we get him.
I
before.
almost guarantee you we're going to.
Yeah, I'm thinking so also, but I'm hoping that we get him at the end of Flash.
Yeah, if we get him this time, it'll be at the end of Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they'll set him up.
I hope at least we get that, like a little bit of him before.
And in fact, I'd even go as far as probably say we probably will get him at the end of Flash because they'll want to hook people for January because they gotta wait almost a month for it to come back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I see that. I can see that happen.
Yeah, that's my hope.
Barry needs to stay dead for a good amount of time, do rebirth in a way, then bring him back. And I love when Barry Allen was crying. Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna kill Barry. Barry's gonna be alive. He's just not gonna go. I think at the end of the day, it's gonna be the other Barry Allen from Earth 90 that sacrifices himself somehow when they bring him in there. If any Flash has to sacrifice himself, I think it'll be that one. I don't think that it'll be our Flash. Our Flash obviously isn't going anywhere. Obviously, they've done a lot of hype where they've gotten rid of a lot of people in a lot of worlds so far. But I think at the end of the day, my biggest concern is at the end of the day, they're gonna pull what they pull on the Flash every year.
Yeah.
Where you get the season finale, which is like the end of the world, everything's horrible.
Like Flashpoint.
Yeah, everything's horrible and falling apart, and then all of a sudden, episode one of the next season, everything's wrapped up 45 minutes into the episode, and the last 15 minutes is them just looking at each other smiling. Right? So I hope that's not how Crisis on Infinite Earths dies. I hope that that's not how Crisis on Infinite Earth goes. I hope that it's taken care of in a way where there are legitimate effects on the whole universe as a whole. The whole thing, all the multiverse.
The one thing that the Monitor kind of hinted is he knows how Crisis ends. Because he said Clover said, no, it's supposed to be me that dies, not... He said, then why you're telling Barry and Kara it's supposed to be them? And he said, there are multiple outcomes, but if I were to tell you, then that wouldn't happen. Or pretty much kind of like the Endgame type thing
Yeah, I
with
was
Doctor
gonna say
Strange.
Doctor Strange.
I think that's what's gonna happen with Crisis, is we're gonna have that kind of moment where it's like Monitor says, like, it's gonna happen a certain way, but I can't tell you how it's gonna happen.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, hey guys. I know Titans is now, Bananas Epic Gaming says Titans is now canon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Eduardo brings up a good point. What's up with the Doomsday State?
Yeah.
So this Superman has died and come back?
Yeah, and we've already gotten Reign of Superman with Tyler Hoechlin. which we were saying last night that maybe they could do like a future crossover, at least for the Superman show, with the Death of Superman story, but it looks like they've already done that.
Because they've never
referenced that at all.
Referenced that at all. They've never referenced that at all. So I don't know, man. That kind of threw me for a loop. That is like, you know, you fought Zod and Doomsday and everything's like, what? Doomsday?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So does that mean then, since we've already gotten Doomsday, we're gonna get Darkseid next on his show? Or at least start to set him up like a Thanos character, like he's there in the background? For
I think you know, the more that I think about it, Isaac, I'm thinking that's going to be the next crossover, is Darkseid. Is somehow an apocalypse, because then you could hype that up as Apocalypse, you know, and you know, like that'd be the next crossover, call it Apocalypse, and have it be Darkseid.
My hope would be though is like we get like a Thanos type thing with Darkseid if we do get Darkseid, is like have him be in the background doing all this stuff, and then when it does happen, it kind of feels like, oh crap, we're not prepared, and then they pretty much get their butts handed to in the first half of the crossover.
If they do, the only bad part about doing Darkseid is that they're doing it on TV instead of doing it the original Justice League, Zack Snyder, you know, thing. So I don't know, but man, but it's fun to theorize.
Yeah.
It's fun to talk about, and we got 2 more nights.
Heck yeah, we do.
Until we gotta wait till January.
Yeah, we got 2 more nights. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, that's
Yeah, Banana said, just can't believe they killed him off in episode 1.
right.
Yeah, but we know from the end of season 7 that that's not how he goes.
Okay, so you're gonna want to come back tomorrow night.
Yep. Wait, can I see the one?
What's that? Oh yeah. Come back tomorrow night, and
Let's see what's on first tomorrow.
I am gonna go back through here.
So tomorrow night.
It's Batwoman
it's Batwoman
first, yep.
first and then Black Lightning.
Yeah.
So we're not get Black Lightning till episode 3 then? Unless they're putting Batwoman first, that way they're...
Well, it didn't look like we saw him last night, so or tonight, you know.
And it looks like Barry goes to look for him as part of the 7.
Yeah.
So maybe there'll be like an end of the episode type thing, and then it's like, and then it'll explain, okay, this is why Barry pulled him out and when he did.
Yeah. So here's how we're gonna here's how we're gonna do this. We have a giveaway.
Oh yeah.
I've got all the names in the chat. I'm gonna put all those into a random name generator, and then tomorrow, when we go live, 15 minutes early, we'll go live 15 minutes before the show starts.
Get conversation started. Let you know who won.
Yeah, and we'll let you know who won the first item, which is. I don't have it with me. Where'd it go? We have a pixel, a flash pixel figure, and that'll be given away tomorrow night. So if you commented tonight, if you were part of the discussion, thank you so much. Thank you for the discussion. Thank you for being here. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you for being here. We're so glad to have you. It's gonna be fun. We got 2 more nights of this. We got giveaways each night. So come on back.
A few last comments is Bananas Epic Gaming said just can't. Oh wait, no, I already read that one. Eduardo said, what happened to Jason Todd and Hawk? Are they dead?
All that universe is dead.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Until they fix it.
And Irving said Black Lightning is a tie-in episode. And then Bananas Epic Gaming said, I think the Monitor took them for the final battle.
Oh.
Huh. It'd be interesting if they showed up. But why would you bring Hank and Jason Todd? Hawk and Robin. It's an interesting combination.
Yeah. Well,
I just think it's showing them that world comes to an end.
Yeah, I think that's all we'll get is just that little like teaser, like, oh, their Earth is wiped, because as of the end of season 2, Jason Todd doesn't want anything to do with the Titans right now.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But yet he's dressed as Robin.
Yeah.
He was dressed as Robin too.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with Hank.
Who was dressed up as Hawk.
I don't know.
Who also was having an issue at the end of the season.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for joining us for night 1.
You know what would be cool?
Uno?
Oh. Hold on.
We're getting Kevin Conroy. What if we get the guy from Titans, and maybe we see a little bit of interaction between his Batman and Kevin Conroy's Batman? I think that would be cool. Like the two older Batman.
There you go. That would be kind of cool.
Oh, you mean from Titans?
Yeah, that Batman. I don't think they'll do it, but
yeah,
would be cool.
But it would be cool.
The kid can think.
Yeah.
And hope.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
As much as I like Batman, it would just be cool.
Yeah.
For me to see.
Oh, I know. That's going to be about it for tonight. But come back tomorrow night for night 2 of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Crisis is here. We are in the midst of it. We're in the thick of it. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Your sky doesn't turn red.
Yeah, hopefully your sky doesn't turn red. All right. Say goodnight, Tiff.